Hi everyone, I'm Holly Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a kind of like a part 2 to my last video about burnout. And I'm basically going to talk about what helped me and just go into a little bit more detail with that. So yeah, sit down, relax, grab a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm gonna need it once again. And let's get straight into it. So I wanted to make this video because burnout is something that affects so many people working in the NHS, yet it's something that we don't always feel like we're able to talk about. When I was burnt out, I wasn't just tired, I was emotionally drained, overwhelmed, and just struggling to function the way that I normally would. For a long time, I just told myself to keep going because that's what we do in healthcare. That's normalised. So today I wanted to share with you what genuinely helped me recover from burnout in case it helps someone feel less alone or helps someone feel more able to ask for support. So let's get into it. One of the most important steps that I took was speaking to my GP. Like many NHS staff, I found it hard to put myself in the patient role. I minimised how I was feeling and convinced myself that I should just be able to cope. But speaking to my doctor helped me realise that burnout is a real health issue and it's not a personal failure. That conversation opened the door to proper support and also validated how I was feeling. Being listened to without judgment made a huge difference. If you're struggling, speaking to your GP isn't making a fuss. You're not wasting anyone's time. It's taking your health seriously, so do it. Another key part of my recovery was using talking therapy. At first, I didn't know how helpful it would be. I was a bit skeptical. I was already just feeling exhausted and just didn't know where to start. But having a safe and confidential space to talk to somebody it was really valuable. Talking therapies helped me make sense of my burnout and what I was experiencing, and it helped me understand the impact of sustained pressure and responsibility in the NHS and what it was doing to me, and I'm sure it probably is doing to everyone else too. Burnout thrives when we stay silent, but recovery begins when we let support in. Sharing how I was feeling with my family was difficult, but it mattered, you know? I felt like I didn't want to worry anyone and I didn't want to feel like a burden. But keeping it all to myself just added to the pressure. I let my family know what I was going through, gave me some extra emotional support, and it reminded me that I just didn't have to carry everything on my own. So, and finally, one of the things that I found most difficult was asking for support at work. So, asking for support from staff health and wellbeing or the ward manager, because you don't want to, I don't know, I just didn't feel good about asking, I guess. This took courage and I worried about being judged or letting my team down. But being honest about my capacity allowed for adjustments to be made. It reduced the pressure I was under, It wasn't about being told to do less. It was about learning to protect my well-being in a demanding environment. Support from my ward manager and staff health and wellbeing made me realise that the NHS does actually recognise burnout, and that support system exists for a reason. Burnout taught me some important lessons. Looking after your well-being is part of being a safe practitioner. Needing support doesn't mean that you're failing, and rest isn't a luxury, it's essential. Recovery wasn't quick and it wasn't linear, but by accepting help instead of pushing through, I'm now in a lot of a healthier mind space than I was before. Does that make sense? If you're an NHS worker struggling with burnout, please hear this. You are not weak and you are not alone. Support is available through your GP, talking therapies, occupational health and wellbeing, and your management teams. You also deserve the same care and compassion that you give to people every day. Thanks so much for listening. I'm going to put a slide at the end with some crisis numbers and bits and bobs on. Just remember that you're not weak, you're not alone, there is support out there, and it's okay, you're going to get through it. Okay. Thank you for listening, and please take care of yourselves and each other. Okay. Bye, guys.